and all who are in the group now. So today we are going to have our third session of 3-month training program on psychosomatic disorders, and I heartily welcome you all. So I welcome the chief patrons of WCOP and the course coordinator, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan sir. He is also chairman for this 3-month training program, and the other patrons and the newly joined patron Lakshman Rao sir, Lakshman Rao sir. And course coordinator Ashok sir, and all other participants, and BG Reddy sir, who is the anchor or who is the pillar of this program. So I welcome everyone.
Okay, good evening to all in this pleasant evening. Today the topic is drug addiction and gambling. As drug addiction is concerned, 2% of the population in the world are being addicted to this drug abuse or drug addiction, and the age group is below 20 years. Among the 16 crore population in India, 6 crore population, they are undergoing treatment. As far as addiction is concerned, I said already, alcoholic addiction is the number one. Then coming to drugs, in cannabis, heroin, and cannabis products, charas, bang, ganja, etc. Coming to the highest used states are, number one state is Goa, then second one is Punjab. Coming to treatment states are concerned, Mizoram, 91% of the population who are addicted to these drugs, they are undergoing treatment, and Meghalaya also, they are also undergoing treatment. Then the reason for this addiction, the major reason is unemployment. As far as this drug addiction, as far as gambling is concerned, drug addiction is concerned, drug addiction. So the reason is unemployed youth are there in these states. Coming to gambling, rummy and poker, these are all the nowadays, coming to, when I visited many schools and colleges, what they said, when I asked the children, PUBG game, like that, many of the games which are mainly, particularly under at the time of cricket, betting, that type of gambling, here more than 40% of the population in India are using this gambling. Coming to therapies are concerned, treatment aspects are concerned, psychotherapy and meditation, and also drug treatment with the drugs also are much helpful. But among the three techniques, counseling plays a major role. Coming to the gambling, here three types of treatment is available. One is outpatient program, another one is inpatient program, another one is residential treatment program. Once this either de-addiction, drug addiction, or this gambling, mainly it affects brain, and also it affects behavior, and also it affects interpersonal relationships either in the home or in the outside of the home. And as far as these two behavior problems are concerned, this gambling and drug addiction are concerned, during Corona started and we had a lockdown in the months of 2020, March onwards, and till third wave is up to third wave, there is a reduction in this drug addiction cases as well as gambling cases are concerned, because they are just restricted to home only. That's why there is a reduction of usage of these two types of problems. So anyway, I don't want to.
So my request Ganeshan sir to take over the session and give your valuable inputs and techniques to treat people.
Good evening, Professor Govinda Reddy Garu,
Yes, sir.
and good evening to Professor Sudhakar Reddy Garu.
Thank
and,
you. Thank you, sir.
Lakshmana Rao Garu and Rama Devi, and dear participants. Addiction, as it is a psycho-neurophysiological. It is in the blood, it is in the brain, it is in the nerve, it is in the blood chemistry. So saving a person from such things requires a lot of effort, and the case has to be admitted and treated. And the drugs have not been successful in changing the attitude of the gamblers. They have tried so many things, but it doesn't work. What is the major problem with these people? They want immediate reinforcement. There is a delayed reinforcement and an immediate reinforcement. Suppose you look at salaried people, they wait for the month end to get the salary. Whereas pickpockets, okay, they want immediate reinforcement. They can't wait. They go and rob somebody. Okay, criminals, they rob somebody. So the major difference between an employee in a salaried job is he can wait. His brain can wait for a month to get the salary. He will keep on working. Whereas the criminals, they cannot wait. They are highly psychophysiologically aroused. The arousal is there. The arousal will go only after getting something, money or success. And this is the basic problem. And you cannot treat experiments or treated cases known as neurotoxic surgery. They will penetrate the brain with a needle and burn some part of the brain, thinking that it is a center for gambling. Things in many areas. So there is no single area where you can handle. So even if some part of the brain is burnt with all the calculation, the other part takes over, because wherever there is a temptation, again the brain starts functioning. And it becomes addictive. So here,
Ganeshan Garani, senior psychologist.
and what are the behavioral techniques? The person should learn to wait. Okay, that is one of the important things, because they are highly aroused. There is a high arousal of these people. They want immediate gratification. They should be taught how to wait for some time, little time, longer time, etc. And it can be done on a one-to-one basis in a admitted area. Okay, maybe in a general hospital or any place or a clinic. They have to be admitted and treated. They should be trained to wait, to inhibit the temptation, because the temptation has set in already. It is just like a Pavlov's dog. There is the conditioning. Okay, even before the food comes, the dog starts salivating. So they have been conditioned to gambling. So they should be trained to withhold this excitation, psychophysiological excitation. They should know how to do it. One thing which can help is vegetarian food, not non-vegetarian food. Vegetarian food will lead to sattvic behavior. So that is the first thing. Even in vegetarian food, they should be fed with fruits. Okay, not cooked food. Fruits only. Whatever fruits they want, they can take. So this itself will create a new habit within them. And initially they may hesitate, but when they feel hungry, they can switch over to variety of foods, various fruits of their choice. Okay, I don't want to list them, but you can offer them at least 10 to 20 fruits. And once they start taking, after all, arousal is created every time by hunger, which is a physiological factor. So if the hunger is taken care of, that itself will change the blood chemistry of the person. That is one thing. Second thing is, I would recommend one simple but effective exercise. I call it as a coin toss exercise. What is the coin toss exercise? We can draw three columns. The first column name at the top is serial number. So 1 to 100 serial number. Second column heading is guess, make a guess. And third column heading is result, guessing and result. So they can take a coin, a 2 rupee coin or a 5 rupee coin, and they are going to toss. Before they toss, they should guess which will come, whether the head or tail will come. Suppose they say head will come, they can enter in the second column under the guess aspect, or you can call it as expectation, guess or expectation. Then the third column is the result, ultimate result. Suppose a person says he will get head, he or she, let them toss the coin. Whatever comes, whether it is head or tail, the result be recorded in the third column, which is known as the result column. Okay, one is expectation, the second is result. It may come as expected or may not come as expected. There are only two possibilities. According to probability, statistical probability, 50% of the time the coin will come with head or with tail. It will coincide with the expectation. Okay, so if they start doing it, the brain learns to wait. Okay, there is no betting, there is no monetary gain, but they are involved in guessing. One of the central point in gambling is guessing. So it is a simulated gambling we are creating in the therapeutic setup. So they expect and task with the act, whether it is a card or whatever kind of gambling they do, they can do it. They engage in some action and wait for the result. Result is a factor which is decided by nature, not by skill. Not like Sakuni in Mahabharata, because that man had a particular skill to get whatever number he wants, which is almost impractical in the real sense. So, but some people are cheating also. That's a different thing. But to get whatever number is required is a skill which cannot be acquired so easily. Okay, there may be cheating in the cards or in whatever way, dices. So the man is excited. He thinks that I'm going to get the head or the tail. Okay, but he sees head means head comes. Good, he's happy. He's quite excited and happy and satisfied. Next time he says tail, again tail comes. So he feels I am able to guess whatever is going to happen. But nobody can guess what is going to happen. This is the reality. But they are unreal. Okay. So we are making them to come into touch with reality. You mean succeed or fail, and ask them to do it for 100 tosses in the first place. And after that, ask the person to mark. Head is expected and head has come. Okay. Then HH, put one circle. He expects a tail, but the head has come. So don't mark anything. Again, he expects tail and tail has come. TT, then circle. Go on doing like that for 100 trials. After that, count the number of circles where the expectation and the results are coincide. It will come somewhere between 45 to 55. That is the range. It will not come to 50, but 45 to 55, usual thing. And ask them to repeat it over another 200. Okay, 101 to 200. Again, 201 to 300. Up to 500. For every 100, they have to find out how many guesses have become right. And they will find it varies. It comes to 45 or 43 to 52, like that it will keep varying. So when they do it, they spend quite some time doing this task. And the brain is educated or trained to know that whatever they expect may happen or may not happen. Otherwise, they think they will always win. Their guess will be always right, whether it is the horse game, horse betting. Okay, so many types of bettings are there. But whatever it is, the guess may come true or may not come true. They should not be obsessed that they will be always right. Or they should not wish I should be right. They may pray God, etc. Okay, but then it is only 50-50. The probabilistic theory says 50-50. But it will be skewed if they go on practicing for a long time. The graph will be skewed, positively skewed. Okay, and what Saguni did, he would have practiced some skill, or he used to keep the dice in his hands and do like this. It is a specially made dice. It is not a general dice. He has prepared it with some technology where whatever he wants, he will get. Okay, so that is the thing. We do not know about that ancient technology, which is used and people have trusted and then lost the land and everything in Mahabharata. So in Shastras it is said, don't engage in gambling. In Hinduism it is said. Christianity also it is said. Islam also says. Any religion will say don't engage in gambling because you are avaricious. You are having so much of desire to win. Instant success you want. Okay, you want to get rich overnight. Okay? That kind of thing. And also lottery ticket buying is also coming into that. People think I will become a crorepati overnight. They start pumping a lot of money. Okay, they sell their jewels and the things like that, and then they go to poverty. So one of the things is they are excitation oriented. It is a psycho-neurophysiological status, which can be reduced by some kind of biochemicals, but not forever, because the person can escape. Because the person says something is being done on them. The rat doesn't know that it is being experimented upon. But the humans know that they are being experimented upon and they are being treated. Okay? And drugs won't help. They have done stereotoxic surgery and all that. But still they say, I will do like that. But the wonder of this technique of coin toss, it goes to 500 per day. Next day also another 500, 501 to 1000. Again, I mean, not continuously, but with little gap, with other facilities to relax the person. How to relax the breathing, how to reduce the rate of breathing. And when the rate of breathing is there, the excitation comes back. Or the inhibition sets in. It's a neurophysiological. So it is only by training people can learn like that. And not by surgical procedures, because they have done a lot of research on that. So for doing all these things, they have to be admitted and treated with a minimum of 1 or 2 weeks, maximum 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. Any addiction can be solved. Okay? And they should learn to wait for the result, because they want result immediately. Okay? And that is the major problem. They should learn to relax the body and relax the mind, relax the brain. And it is interface with such procedures. Okay, there will be more oxygen intake to the brain by certain exercises. When the brain understands, it is illogical, irrational to expect things to happen overnight. If you tell by counseling, they will not understand. But this is almost like a drug treatment, but no drug is given. The natural hormonal balances or the blood chemistry is not under control without any intervention. Okay. Intervention is only behavioral intervention, not entering into the body, doing surgery or giving medicine like that. So the person calms down, the brain calms down. Then it comes to contact with the reality, fantasy. They are almost crazy. They are mentally ill. And that is that addiction problem. Okay. So it requires a continuous engagement from morning till evening for 2 weeks to 4 weeks maximum. Okay. That's what I would suggest. If any question or clarification is required, I will be happy to share. It is not just psychological, it is neurophysiological. But again, all that we give in behavior technology or behavior therapy is changing the habit or changing the biochemistry of the blood without any kind of medical intervention or hormonal preparations are not used. Only exercises will change. Any observation, please come forward.
That means when we are making the data like tossing the coin, so in the
Yeah.
results, if he gets head, he has to write as expected or head.
Yeah, he has to make an expectation whether it is going to be H or D. And then
Okay, we have to ask.
task, then record the result. Again,
Okay,
guess, task.
so we have
record
to
the result.
identify how many guesses are correct and how many are not.
Yes, that they have to work it out after 100.
One.
After every 100, they have to find out and write down.
Okay.
We will go up to 500 tasks one day, next day another 500, then the third day again another 500, then fourth day another 500, totally 2000 tasks. And this is training the brain to understand whatever the person expects may or may not happen. Because the desire of the people who are excited, they want things to happen the way they want. But it is against nature to expect things to happen as they want. Now we are trying to teach them nature is not like they cannot command nature. The probability cannot be controlled.
Yes, sir.
That people know, normal people know. But these people have got a skewed expectation. They think it will come true because I'm a smart guy, I'm experienced, and things like that. Okay. So that kind of rigidity, cognitive rigidity has to be handled. For that only, this creates a cognitive flexibility to understand or to tolerate failure. This is one of the very important things. Intolerance of failure itself can lead to frustration and suicide. That's what is happening to gamblers. And they give away all their property, jewels, etc., like that.
Yes, sir. In recently, online rummy is also has become so much popular, and
Yes,
initially
yes.
they'll get one or two attempts, they'll get some money or something, and then that becomes an obsession for them to put again and again.
That's the thing. That is
Yes, sir.
what's
I know. Pretty recently, I came to know that a person has lost nearly 2 lakhs in that.
actually people should understand there is no good luck. There is no good luck. There is no God's blessing. When they do such things, it is not God's blessing. They think God will bless me. Or my gem which I am wearing will make me lucky.
Yes.
Okay. And this is an unknown factor. So they are biased in their expectation. That's why they are locked to the habit of gambling. So in other words, this makes them more rational, logical, realistic, practical. That is the only way to treat. And how to do it? These are the techniques. Some techniques I have shared now. There are some more techniques which I can share later. Because to keep a person for 2 to 4 weeks requires handling of all these things alternatively.
Yes, sir.
Okay, suggest
you-
the logic I use is make the person to get excited, make the person to relax. Again excited, then relax, excited, relax. This is the alternation. And once they do like that, they are able to relax. Suppose you ask them to relax, they can't do it. So ask them to be active, aroused, and then followed by relaxation. Again, get aroused, then relax, like that. So they learn to have a control over their excitation, neurophysiological excitation, which is almost like withdrawal symptom in the case of alcoholism.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you said till 2000 means one day till 2000 times, sir?
Only 500.
Only 5
500 per day. Next
per
day.
day. So it means
We
4
can
days.
do- Yes, 4 days. And then we have got other techniques also of excitation. How to get the person to get excited.
Okay.
That is it is a neuromuscular. Okay. So some muscle activity is given to get excited. The BP to go up. And then relax, followed by relaxing the breathing, relaxing the muscles, relaxing the thought. Again, get excited. For example, the laughter therapy. When a person starts laughing, it is an excitement, but it is harmless. Okay. And endorphins are released. So he is introduced into laughter, which is an arousal, followed by relaxation of release of endorphins into the blood. So it is an alternation between arousal and relaxation, arousal, relaxation. And then they are able to balance. Otherwise, they are always in a excitation mode. Okay, they can't wait. Highly tempted, hyperactive. Okay, and they lose rationality. So the program makes them to become rational. Okay, and realistic and practical. Without talking, there is not much of talking is required. So we are directly handling the physiological system without use of pharmaceutical preparations. Or surgical interventions. That's why it is known as the behavior. Behavior is prescribed. Instead of drugs, behaviors are prescribed.
Yes, sir.
Whole field of medicine is progressing towards behavioral medicine. How to treat a person without medicine. This is coming under that category.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Participants, you can come up with your questions and doubts or anything, whatever you want to clear yourself.
Well, sir, I've got a question.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Please unmute.
One, sir, excuse me, sir. I request other participants to please mute yourself. Only the person who wants to ask a question can unmute and speak. Thank you. Go on, sir.
My question is now similar, something similar. Do we have target?
Please introduce yourself.
Myself is Dr. R.B. Rao. I'm from Visakhapatnam.
Okay, fine. And your background is?
My background is entirely different. I'm ex-Navy, and then, of course, I was director of a company, and now I'm practicing psychology.
No. Your profession is it psychology or psychiatry?
Psychology, not psychology.
Psychology. Okay, please go ahead.
Mostly I'm looking for, I do counseling. So my question is, like you have this gambling, other than education, to do something which makes them control themselves
Yes.
from excitation stage to a normal stage, and
Yes.
finally they can get over that excitation.
Yes.
Do we have anything similar for the drug addiction also, which we can probably do? Though I know drug addiction is not possibly done without proper medical care, but is there any?
That's the orientation of the therapist. But research shows drugs alone cannot cure.
Yeah, not alone, but is there anything which will help a lot?
Can work together.
Work together, yeah. So,
And the people who are in the field of medicine, most of them are not familiar with behavior therapy. That is what is going to be the future. It will become behavioral medicine, behavioral therapy. Every doctor with MBBS or MD or MS, they have to know, whatever be the specialty. Okay. They've been dealing with the physiology, anatomy, and pharmacology. But what the mind or the habit of the person is doing, they are not concerned very much because that is the education which is given. But they are going to include it there in future. Okay, at least it will come through. We need not wait for it to come in England or France or Germany or America. India can start it. Okay, that is what Ayurveda has done. They use medicine, they use surgery, but they also handle the behavior, the cognition. In the Siddha medicine also it is like that. Some kind of disciplining. What food to take, what not to take. So that's why I said only sattvic food, and that too only fruits, because it is coming from the Siddha tradition.
so
So
that will
when
help
we
for
try to
the
have
addiction
a case, we have to be eclectic, not just behavior therapy. Okay, we have to be eclectic. That kind of openness and flexibility is required for therapists to achieve success in treating a case.
So when we talk about relaxation exercise, those deep relaxation exercises are good for the.
Yes, relaxing the mind and the body. Okay, relaxing the mind only, there are techniques.
Like
Relaxing the body only, there are techniques. Relaxing both the mind and the body, there are techniques. These are the three categories. So we administer and train them to do it. Then the whole system comes under control. So, I mean, it has to come under self-control, not under the control of the therapist. So there is no directive counseling, do it, don't do it, this is ethical, unethical, and all that. So it is just like sending a vehicle to a garage where they fix the brakes. Okay, that's the thing. So they have to manage their thinking, behavior, the feelings, and the feelings play a very important role. Okay, if they are having anxiety, they should become, that should be brought under control. If they are aggressive, it should be brought under control. Okay, aggression leads to kind of hyperventilation, etc. So many things. So how to regulate anger has to be trained. And how to relax also has to be taught, because some people do not relax at all. They have difficulty sleeping also. Sleeping disorders are there. Anger is there. Aggression is there. And then depression and hurting oneself is also there. So how to manage? It's just like training a person to drive a vehicle, like that, or how to use a computer, like that. So it's a life skill program has to be given. It need not be given only for addiction. It can be given for any kind of mental illness program. Then the thought and feelings, they come under control. Once they come under control, they are able to get out of any of these things.
So controlled conditions become necessary.
Yes, it is like inpatient treatment. You have to admit and treat, not like a daycare center. They come and take the prescription and go and buy it in the pharmacy. No, it's almost like a surgical procedure. It is admitted and treated. So it's a training. It is an intensive crash program, training program, you can call it, because these are severe problems. So across the counter, it cannot be treated. Admission is absolutely required for a minimum of 2 weeks. certain things can be done for 1 week, but mostly it is requiring 2 to 4 weeks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, if you have any case in specific, you can discuss, sir. Arvind sir. If you have any case, particular case in specific case, you can discuss here.
Such addiction and gambling.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but I had, in fact, earlier I had a question about the cell phone issue. Cell phone issue. When that day we didn't have time to ask you, but I would like to ask you that.
Yeah, you can. That's also an addiction.
Yeah, addiction. But what I found is, in my case also, what I did is, one of the things which we did was, you switch off the notification. See, because unlike TV, the cell phones have this issue. The notification triggers, urge to see the phone immediately. So I found it useful to, I suggested some people, they said it has been very useful to them, is keeping the notification off and do your job, whatever is specific jobs. And after that, you can go through the phone and see if anything has come there.
Yeah.
That is one issue I thought worked.
Those are also techniques trying to cancel away the cues. That is also one technique. But more important is there should be a cognitive change. The cognitive change comes, then things automatically happen. But if you prevent people from many things, I mean, it doesn't work much. Okay.
It has to come from within. I mean, this should be acceptable to the person who is handling the phone, etc.
The general tendency of a client is to resist. Okay. So you should disarm them first. You should not prescribe do's and don'ts, etc. They should choose what is right and wrong. For that only it is required.
Any such other thing can be done for the cell phone.
Yes.
The cell phone issue is the worst issue these days. Especially I teach in the university. I find the students are hooked on to this cell phone most of the time.
Okay. Now, you see, we are trying to treat the case by surgery, okay? But we can try to change the behavior by drugs, and we can also change the behavior by lifestyle. So the cognitive behavior therapy is more effective. For example, I can show you one video where they have found that the Cadbury chocolates, they are mixing the contents of the pigs. Now, the Malaysian government has banned it because it's the most of a Islamic country. Malaysia, Singapore, they banned it simply. Okay, but Cadbury is a very famous American company. And once you understand Cadbury chocolate is sweet and milk and chocolate, but once you say there is a pig's meat in that, that's a cognitive shift. You will not take the chocolate, though it is tempting. Used to that. That kind of cognitive shifts are coming. And also in chocolates, they say for 100 grams of chocolates, 16 cockroaches are allowed, according to Food Administration of US. Because without cockroaches entering into the cocoa, you cannot prevent it at all. So they said 16 cockroaches per 100 grams of chocolates is okay. They call it 5-star, whatever. Okay. So what do you think when you take chocolate? You say, hey, chocolate, this is having cockroaches. This is having the pig's meat. Then your mind will change. So the major thing is in behavior technology is cognitive behavior modification.
Yeah.
So it is internal change. Externally, you prevent people from taking chocolate or taking drinks, taking smoking. It doesn't help. People somehow go and take chocolate or cigarettes or alcohol. So how to do that? It is just like setting an alarm clock. When it is 6 o'clock in the morning, it rings because it is set like that. So the role of psychologists or behavior technologists is to set the clock inside the brain. It can be done, it can be drug assisted. Okay. Better to have non-drug assisted programs.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Now, Getsi, are you waiting to ask a question?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
You
Good
are
evening, all.
Yeah, good evening.
So, like, according to what you are telling now, that we have to set the alarm, right? We have to change the thinking pattern of the person. Now,
Yeah.
when we say something, people say that we know it all. We know that cell phone is bad. We know drinking is bad. We know gambling is bad. So, how do we really convince them? How do we do it, sir?
The cognitive behavior shift can be achieved if you talk to a young man or a middle-aged man who is smoking. You tell him your impotence can be exaggerated by cigarettes. Then he will think twice before taking a cigarette.
Hit the right point.
What I am talking is true.
Yeah,
It is because the proof is there. I am not telling a lie. Okay. It is purely rational, research based. So instead of wives telling the husbands you are stinking with your smoking, you are going to lose your erection. Then you will immediately drop the cigarette.
What can be done? What can such things be given for cell phone and stuff, sir?
Or
What can be given for the mobile addiction? What kind of
what kind of mobile?
no. What kind of thoughts can be given to them to get away from mobile addiction?
Mobile addiction.
Yeah.
Okay. What do they watch in the mobile?
They
Tell
watch
me.
nowadays. It's like
Tell me
series.
tell-
Nowadays,
tell-
series, web series, and simple scrolling.
I think Getsi, you are very gentle and you are very innocent. People are watching XXX videos.
Yeah, they do even that.
But you are not asking the question. Okay. Straight ask the question. You
Okay.
want to help people to stop the porn watching? I'll give you a technique.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Ask them to switch on. Go to XXX movies or video.
Okay.
Put it on. Start laughing for half an hour. Watch at the stimulant. Start laughing. Laughing is arousal. If they do not laugh, a man will get an erection. A woman will also arousal, sexually aroused. But if they start laughing, that is also arousal. But that is not going in the track of sexual arousal.
Right.
Sexual arousal is created by the brain, by the habit. Okay. But now, if you prescribe laughing, you try with somebody or even a group of people. I have given it to a group of trainees who are psychologists. I have put the video in the screen. Okay. And then I ask them to stop laughing aloud. And when they laugh aloud as a group, the laughter becomes contagious. Then they found nothing is happening. Videos are shown. It is always there with the YouTube. You can see it and then you can play like that. And also I have done it with the clients also. And the psychology trainees also I have given. So developing an alternate way of responding to the brain. We are dealing with the brain without any surgery or drug. It is a behavioral manipulation, cognitive manipulation, manipulation of the feeling.
Right.
Okay. They start giggling, they start laughing aloud as a group. They say what funny thing is going on. Otherwise, they will all get absorbed. They will identify with the models there and get excited. But when they laugh, they will not get identified with the people who are there.
Mm. Right. Nice.
I think psychologists themselves should do all these things first and see whether it works for them. Because we are also a specimen.
Right.
Not from your clients.
Try it on ourselves first before we administer to people.
Yes.
So one more thing I wanted to ask, sir, when you said that we have to admit patients for like 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks and treat them, it is
Yes.
very difficult to hold them even for a day, from morning to evening. To hold them and work with them is a difficulty. How do we make them stay like for so long?
You see, even in the medical cases, they go to the doctor only there is a breakdown.
Right.
When it is in a beginning level, they won't come. So at the breakdown stage, when they come, you make them hold it, and they will be happy. So you will get only breakdown cases. That is enough. That is enough. And they are very happy. You are also happy because you have solved something which is almost unsolvable. The so-called unsolvable, like that.
Yeah, there are not many, even in Chennai, there are not many people who cater to these addiction needs, sir. Very few people. And mostly even psychologists, what they do is, sir?
See, you emerge yourself as a therapist and do something there.
I wish with your blessings I do it because there is a need and like.
They may be doing a lot, but you emerge and do something.
I will, sir.
Don't talk about your teachers and forefathers in psychology. You start doing something.
Right. Because one scene that I saw, very, very saddening scene, was in one of a renowned center, they had actually chained those clients, they had chained them, and in the name of giving counseling, they were giving drugs. There was nothing in the form of, and they were beaten, they were belted, and they were like treated when the relatives were not around.
It is also age-old treatment which tantrics do. They beat them with a stick. Okay, so that is also a technique. Okay?
Oh, really?
Yes, that's also a technique.
Okay.
When ECT is given, ECT is the worst technique. Electroconvulsive therapy is the worst technique which is banned in European countries and USA.
Oh.
But in India, it is not banned. Okay. So when ECT is given, some part of the brain and the heart and the lung get damaged permanently.
Oh.
There is no possibility of recovery. But still it is being used because some of the therapists in the canteen. Then boys will not smoke. They will not. Don't sell cigarettes. But put this up.
I would like some suggestions how to stop the gambling habit or those people who are getting into it at the beginning itself rather than treating them.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I have seen a couple of people who could not be taken out of it. Especially in Madras, race course is a big attraction for people.
No,
Horse race.
you are talking about beginners and also hardcore cases. Whether they are beginners or hardcore, are all the same. Like once a smoker is always a smoker.
It's a big business, so it cannot be stopped because all horses are owned by big guns, and then the gambling is in a high scale.
Okay. I would suggest one more technique. So please slowly tell them to donate something for others. Okay. Even they can give their family members. And finally give something to the strangers. Every day you have to give some annadanam or vastradanam or whatever. Okay. Then this acquiring tendency comes down. Giving tendency grows. Then that will come down. They will come to their senses. The antidote to getting attitude is the giving attitude. Whatever little thing they can give, you tell them. Okay, they can even give something to pets or the birds. Okay, and they need not go to old age home or orphanages. They can give to their children, to the wife, and to the friends. Give their time, give some material, and that will be one good thing. And to tempt them into the act of giving, I would suggest ask them to give something which is useless. If they have not worn a dress for 1 year, they don't need it. Ask them to donate it. Okay, something like that. Then there is a shift in the cognition. The purpose in life changes. Okay, and that will help you a great extent. So these are all, it's a kind of module. Okay, cognitive shift contains so many modules in that. And this is one of the major modules, from getting to giving. They will give more and more. I have seen cases where I asked them to part with 1 rupee per day. Now they are giving lakhs and lakhs of rupees for the public cause, to Rotary, to religion, to temples, etc. Otherwise, they were thinking about how to get money. Now they are getting money and they are giving also. I'm talking about individuals. Suppose you are thinking about to bring about a social change. I think it's going to be difficult. But try with individual cases, and that will spread. He will go and tell somebody, now I was like that, now I am like this. And he himself becomes a co-therapist. And he can help others with similar problems.
Okay, shall we?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, now course coordinator, Professor Ashok wanted to say something. Professor Ashok. Please unmute, Ashok.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, I would like to remind our participants
Regarding
to
what?
kindly register if any. Few of them are not registered so far. Registration is also important, and submission of Google form is a must, sir, to monitor from my side. And I also request all the participants to completely send the records sheets up to date, because it is already third session. That's all, sir. That's all I want to add.
Right.
I request participants to kindly fill up the Google form, register for those who have not registered it, and have to submit the record sheet as per schedule. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Dr. Ramadevi, summarize.
Yes, sir. So as discussed, Ganeshan sir has said that there is no medical treatment for drugs and gambling. So only the counseling is the best way to treat the people. And the best and the good part is we have to admit them and treat it. So unless and until we don't admit them for continuously for 2 to 4, maximum of 4 weeks, it cannot be treated completely. So the medication doesn't really help. Probably if we say this, psychiatrist may bombard us. So when coming to the case, so he has said that there is a coin toss method in which the client is made to guess what comes in, what is the expectation, like 1 to 100 times. So if he expects head, you have to write the result as head. And if he expects head and it comes tail, you have to write it as tails. So with this, we can, for 100 cases, for 100 times, 100 tosses, he has to do it. And after 100 tosses, we have to give a break for relaxation for half an hour, and then again 500 until 500 tosses we do it. So every time in the tosses we can see if it is head and head as expected. Guess is head and also result is head. We have to tally it with head and head, and if it is not tails and tails, tally with tails and it. And we have to count how many of the guesses are correct, so that he can understand, the client can understand that the brain learns the expectations may happen and may not happen. and the person cannot become obsessed. And in between we have to make them excited and give them the relaxation, so that he won't we have to make them sit, and he won't get he won't get he, many cases, I mean, continuously he cannot do and sit, so we have to give a relaxation in between. So continuous engagement from morning till evening is necessary, from minimum 2 weeks to 4 weeks, so that the brain will learn, the person will learn rational, logical and realistic thinking. So if it is an excitation, we have 3 ways of relaxing: relaxing only the mind, relaxing only the body, and relaxing both mind and body. Depending on the case, we have to give the relaxation for the patient, client. So if any person gets a notification, phone addiction, if any person gets notification, looks at the phone, anything, so the first one thing is we have to mute it, or we have to cancel, or we have to put an alarm in the brain that if you do this, something might happen. So we should not prescribe do's and don'ts. We have to give them a choice. Here sir has given an example for pig's meat in Cadbury. So many people in Muslim countries they have not taken anything, so when they come to know that they have milk and everything, so they started consuming it. So in such a way, we have to set an alarm so that the client can stop doing it. So in convincing the clients also, if we say any addiction like smoker comes in, we have to say immediately that the impotency is exaggerated by smoking. So this we can put it in the form of posters or anything in the schools and colleges also. And if the person is too much addicted to the porn, we had to ask them to watch the porn video and start laughing for 30 minutes and then relaxing for another 30 minutes. So this is how the brain start learning to respond the stimuli in a different way rather than getting excited. So in the horse racing case, so the person will learn to get the response of getting the things rather than giving it. So to change the getting attitude to the giving attitude, we have to ask the client to slowly donate something to others. First to the family members and then to the others. He can do either Anadanam or Vastadanam, whatever, or even a little 1 rupee or coin, he can throw it on the road and go without looking back. So by donating to the birds and even to the birds or animals, something which is not useful to us can be given to any person. So in this way, they will start learning to giving rather than receiving end. So these are the cases which have been discussed. So I request participants to kindly make your note as well, so that if I miss any point, you can club it and write it. So thank you so much, Ganeshan sir, for your valuable time and simple suggestions. I would say simple suggestions because we don't really think in a different way. So when we listen things, personally, I would get, why didn't I think like
food
this?
Habits, ma'am, food habits is missing.
Yeah.
Food, vegetarian food, sattvic food.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. So
Fruits
for
mainly.
defeating that the food, sattvic food has to be given, only the fruits. Only the fruits has to be given, because the spices and everything, they exaggerate our thinking process and the anger and everything will be increased to certain extent. Thank you, ma'am. So I thank finally Ganeshan sir for his valuable time, and on behalf of WCOP, I thank BG Reddy sir and Ashok sir for conducting or organizing such a valuable program, so that everybody will get trained and so that they can train others as well. And thank you very much for your participants for their presence in this session. Thank you so much. Good night and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Good night. Good
Ganesh,
night.
sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.